It was nearly finished when you saw it last.
That's right, guys. We're filming another P6 estate, but this one is slightly better than any of mine ever were. Welcome back to Classic Britain, and we're here with the man, myth, the legend, Darren Vazzy of Rover P6 fame.
Morning.
Morning to you too. I haven't seen this car in about 3 years, but it looks just as good as it did when I saw it last time.
Well,
so tell us a bit about the restoration process of this, because it was pretty in-depth, wasn't it?
I think it was it would have been 2021. So yeah, a couple of years ago you saw it. I've owned this car since 1998, I think.
Which was when I was born, so you've had it 25 years as of this year.
Had it in managed to dry store it in a barn on a farm for about 20 years. Ended up in a situation where I had to either restore it and get on with it or get rid of it because I'd lost my storage space. So
we know which one he picked, obviously.
started this car. It's a Series 2 car. Used to be Cameron Green. Nothing wrong with Cameron Green, but I felt that spraying it April yellow would be the order of the day, just due to its rarity. This colour April yellow only ran for 11 months between 1968 and 1969. And is subsequently in the UK extremely rare. It was very popular in the USA.
Oh.
You'll find a lot of April yellow TCs, Nada TCs, for instance. Yeah. So, when did I start it? January 2019. I started this.
Wow.
And then sorry, December 2019 I started it. Started in December 2019. And then if you remember, another 4 months later we had the COVID thing hit. So although I had to work because I'm a gas engineer, it still gave me loads of time to get on with it. And I did this full ground up restoration on this in 22 months. So it was,
which is insane pace if you think about it, because the car was pretty much scrap when you got it, wasn't it? It was really, really, really
it was
bad.
really rotten. Yeah, it's had inner and outer seals both sides, hockey sticks. Before I managed to store it on a farm, it was parked in a forest for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't like that at all. All behind the heater and the bulkhead. Needed replacing to a point where I had to cut out the panel that held the wiper spindles on. I had to cut that out to gain access to get to the rear of the heater mounting, and then re-weld the wiper spindle panel back in.
Usually, you know anyway, because you've been had these things for over 30 years, but usually when they go that bad, you don't bother.
No, if this was a saloon, I'm sorry guys, it would have been scrapped. But those of you that know me, I only like to go for the rare P6s. I've had 3 Nadas, 3 Estates, a 2-door convertible coupe for a little while, which was good fun. I do love the P6. Those of you that go back far enough know I was the proprietor of Southern P6 back in the 90s and early noughties.
Yeah, bring it back.
You never know. Right, should we connect the battery?
Yeah.
Go out?
Oh, it's just stunning inside. Wow.
It was on the there you go. I had that on the roof of that's Deborah from the P6 Rover Owners Club. That was the sign I had on it. Back in November 22 at the NEC.
Oh, nice.
My first outing to the NEC. You wouldn't believe I've been involved with classic cars for 30 years and never went to the NEC.
Well, yeah, anyway, we'll get the battery and we'll talk about why the tailgate's lower than some of my estates and other interesting features about this car in a little bit. These episodes are a ton of hours and work to produce. So if you want to support me, Classic Britain stickers are now available, linked in the description. You can get a lovely signed one like this, just like Darren has got. Although this one was only signed by me because Lucas and David have the flu at the moment. But anyway, that's besides the point. You can also see exclusive content on channel memberships. Click the join button now next to the subscribe button if you would like to see that. Thanks to all our members for supporting what I do. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, this is the advert break over. Let's get back to the video. Right, so, for those who don't know, the P6 Estate is a very interesting car. These were built by Panelcraft. Panelcraft basically bought standard P6s and they cut the rear bulkhead out and added this pod on the back, which gives it such a distinctive look. Oh, it looks so good. So, this is a real P6 roof rack, and these are exceptionally rare. It's got all the lovely, beautiful wood, steel. Oh, it's just beautiful. So, this is an earlier one. The earlier conversions had internal hinges, and the reason they had internal hinges, the earlier ones, is because you can see this doesn't go very high at all. Now later on, they adjusted it so that the tailgate could open much higher. They put external hinges so that the tailgate could lift up a lot taller. As you can see, this trim panel is a lot thinner than normal. And the main thing is, we'll take a peek under the bonnet in a second. Oh, the main thing is this, you've got this flat bench seat in the back. And this is really rare. But all estates had this flat top bench bit and this middle cushion piece, which is here. And it does fold down. And these are the bottom. This is the bottom half. These are just standard bottom P6.
It's got the fillet.
Is that what it's called, the fillet?
Well, it's what I'm calling it. Because in able to get the fold, they've had to raise the bottom of the seat up. It's obviously bespoke to this model.
How about that, eh?
And there we have it. Get your dead grandma in there. If I was a bit shorter, I would have this as my hearse.
You could just chop your legs off, you'd be fine.
Yeah, so there it is.
What about all the headlining? Was that done by you as well?
It was fitted by me. What you do, I had it recovered, professionally recovered, by a chap at Sussex Trimmers in Lewis. Unfortunately, the guy died through COVID not long after he did this. But the headlining is on a frame, the same standard P6 frame to about here.
And it's extended back.
Yeah, but what they do, I took the frame off and took it to him, and what happens is they put the extra bit on here, and it's got an upstand on it, and this upstand is actually held in with little tacks. You basically you fit the headline in as per normal, and all this is hanging down, and then you work your way backwards, lifting it up, and there's actually a strip of wood.
Oh, right,
in,
okay.
in there that you tack the headline in upstand to, and it lifts it up. And the same at the back, it's just done with glue. And you can see there the use of the original boot hinges by Panelcraft, which enable, okay, you don't get a very high opening of the tailgate, but I do think it looks a whole lot cleaner with no horrible hinges on the roof.
Yeah, the
line.
internal ones look better, definitely.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, I've had 5 estates, and it's
more than me.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
It's amazing though, and how many variations per estate there are. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like they're worlds apart, 'cause they're all hand built.
Yeah.
We think there was between 150 and 250 of these. It's sort of hard to tell, isn't it? But very, very limited number.
165 has been banded out through the Panelcraft bill sheets records, but I think they were destroyed or lost anyway, so nobody can prove one way or another.
You can also see the internal trim back here is a lot thinner than the standard one. There's vinyl trim at the back.
Yeah, oh yeah, the D-post.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's bespoke to the car. Yeah.
Totally bespoke.
Like lifting back up.
Oh, it's just so satisfying. I do like estates, I really do. Oh, I nearly forgot to tell you, Darren. Do you know what my friend Johnny Smith calls these? He calls them sex tourers. He thinks they look sexy.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so as you can see, Darren's converted everything to Series 1. Series 1 door handles. Your flat pleat seats here. The only thing that has remained is the Series 2 clocks, which look really good. And this, for those who don't know, this is an American spec wheel, isn't it?
No.
Is it not the American? So it's an optional extra.
It's an optional
Oh, okay, yeah.
wood rim wheel. Yeah.
And it does have a 5-speed gearbox too, LT77. Looks really nice. What was the urge to do this as a sort of Series 1 lookalike?
Well, for those of you that know me, I've restored lots and lots of P6s, and I was left with some cars and some bits and pieces laying around after I shut the business, and decided, well, I've done a lot of building for other people to their spec. Now it's time I built one for myself to my own spec, which is why this is.
God, look how clean this is!
Yeah, everything's been back to bare metal.
Crikey. There's no rot in that heater box, I'll tell you that.
No, behind it, it's 100%.
You would never know that this had been, that it was that bad. Looking at it, you would never know.
It was almost like the pictures of Kismet you showed me the other day in that area. But in the Kismet is done on the bottom. This was on that face, that upright face, where the fan holes go in.
So these are earlier carbs, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're correct.
Yep, they were
correct spec.
Everything engine-wise was original on the car.
I will say the external float carbs on the V8 make life so much easier.
Yeah, I find them easier than they do. They tend to be less prone to wear than the HIF 6s.
God, even the servo is just immaculate.
Yeah, I just reconditioned that and painted it myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the story on this grille? Because that's blacked and silver as well.
Well, I've given that the NADA touch.
Ah,
North
right.
American dollar area touch.
Yeah.
It's a standard Series 1 V8 grille, but I've satin blacked it throughout.
It does look good.
Let it go off, and then just take your circular sander DA to the front faces here, and it just brings it back up to bare aluminium again.
Wow.
And that's exactly what the NADA spec is.
Wow.
If you look at some North American dollar area V8s, that's
what it is.
how they are.
And we got the Rose style wheels, of course.
Well, they're not quite in keeping because they're 15-inch.
Ah, right.
P5.
But, that was a common mod anyway. Yeah, loads of people did that.
It was.
And the other thing we will say is, look how good this vinyl looks.
Yeah, again, brand new. The roof was taken off correctly.
Because are these screwed on like the standard P6 roof, or how are these estate roofs held on?
Right. You've got a number of screws that start around here, the D-post, top of the D-post area. What they've done, they've extended them along the back half of the top of the window area. But around here, there's actually rivets, very small rivets.
Oh, okay.
All the way along here and here. So subsequently, when I took the roof to be revinyled, it came back with the vinyl stuck to about here, because it obviously has to be attached to the roof before you can complete it and finish the vinyl off. So although Steve at Sussex Trimmers did most of the work, I had to do the intricate work, and you can see here the way it's held on. It's tucked under and glued, and held on with these lovely
I bet that was a fun job.
little strips. Well, fun, but look at it, it's very satisfying.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
The way it's come out.
Oh yeah, it looks absolutely great. And we will say these Astoria badges were done by Darren, and my mate's got an original one,
Right.
so I'll let you know about that. But these are actually 3D printed, correct?
Yeah, we're 3D printing these.
They look good.
My son's 3D printing them, and I'm painting them. and from a distance you can't tell the difference.
Oh, that's so satisfying. Right, you think it's time to take it for a spin?
Yeah, we can go out for a drive if you like.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's hit the road.
Here we are on the road in the Astora, and yeah, it's a P6 through and through. I mean, you've got the lazy burble of the engine, really smooth. I mean, Spen Kim was such a clever man to make the suspension as soft as it is, because even on these not particularly great roads, you just don't feel a thing. It glides right over it. Hopefully we'll glide over this Lycra jockey. I'm just kidding, that's a joke. But it does ride really, really smooth. So you said the engine is standard other than one small mod?
Yeah, the only modification on this engine is a real steel 40% uprated oil pump kit.
That's
volume,
it.
40% volume uprated. Doesn't increase the pressure, just increases the amount of oil. Doesn't increase the pressure. These engines, they really rely on having oil sent everywhere. The more the better, with the hydraulic lifters off the camshaft. So, you know, it's if you can just put that little sandwich plate in, gives you that extra 40% on the oil pump wheels. Do that to it. It's still running on points and condenser. No need to go electronic ignition. Again, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And I keep on running into more and more people want to do modifications on these cars, and there's no need. Leave them alone. Modifications like electronic ignition lead to things like the rev counter's not working, and having to put a special coil on it and bits and pieces like that. Again, I'll always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They didn't go through 6 years of research and development on this car and road testing.
Rover did.
between 1956 and 1963, when they released it, to you know, to make sure that it was going to be right for the public, which they did.
Yeah, they most certainly did.
They didn't go through it in vain. You're lucky if you get 6 months testing on a vehicle these days. But they tested this P6 for nearly 7 years before release.
Which is why they're just such good cars. You know, been abused, and they know that it's gonna take that abuse.
And it's probably why the P6 has never really fetched an awful lot of money as a second-hand classic car. Because the build quality was so good. There's plenty of them out there, and parts are easy come by. Whereas if you take the prices of Fords recently, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to take apart a Ford, but guarantee you take one apart, just about every nut and bolt break as you try and take it apart. And the bodies are just not to the same quality as Rover. You might have seen me recently in another Classic Britain movie. I've just brought a 1939 Rover 20 back to life, and just everything about that car was 100% still, even after nearly 60 years of never being run. Everything came apart beautifully, nothing broke. Wouldn't happen with a Ford. Sorry if you're a Ford man.
It's just such a view to look behind you and see all that extra glass and the tailgate.
I'm thinking about growing tomatoes in there.
You probably could. You could have a mobile marijuana grow on the go. Not that we do that sort of thing. God, it is just so right. Stainless steel exhaust system on it?
Yes, it is. All apart from the middle box.
Hopefully with a straight bit of road. he pulls, man. People think that because the suspension's soft that they don't handle, but that is just not true. They stick to the road like glue.
They roll, but they stick.
It is very deceptive, the amount of handling you have in a P6. I mean, we're really chucking it into corners, and it's very stable. It's just a weird sensation to get over because of the amount of body roll. But people, you know, if you've seen them, but back in the day, the police cars, they were really, I mean, the sills were scraping the floors and they were still sticking to the road. I mean, that DD on suspension and is just ingenious. And I think that's why a lot of people are scared about these cars, because they don't understand them, because they're so different to everything else.
Sure, yeah. This car's got adjustable shocks on it, which I replaced the shocks as a matter of course, but even though they're adjustable, I've left them on the softest setting. Because, I don't want to be going doing World Rally Championships in the car.
So, for context, me and my friend Rob drove his 1990s Toyota Starlet up this road, and we were banging all over the place, and it was really uncomfortable. You just don't feel a thing in this. You hear da-dum, but that's literally it. You know, there's no shaking or anything like that. Oh, another classic there. Hot rod. Oh, what a lovely drive. What a lovely ride.
And if you get it into fifth in a 30 zone, then it only fires every lamppost. So
yeah, because it's got an LT77 in it, 5-speed box, which is a really lovely swap, actually. Really lovely.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, thanks for taking us out in it. Really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to loathe and despise, like and subscribe, comment down below. Check out channel memberships if you want to see exclusive content. I'll make a trailer for all that content very, very soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.